So near-death experience in some people's minds means you transform into something different because you've had this experience. And for me, I just call them, close shaves, British call them a bit of bother. I don't like really talking about it in that sense, because there's a lot of people that really like listening to the more gory details of life, and I'm just not that person. One time we're actually sailing a Hobie Cat, and I got knocked off the boat and pretty far out in Lake Superior, and was rescued from there by the same person that I was sailing with on the Hobie Cat. It was really strong winds, so it was very difficult to come around, and he was just coming in to report me missing and almost drove right over top of me, so that's how I was found. So that was one. And then for me, I had an experience in a tree well where Paul Heffernan saved my life. I'd fallen into a tree well, fallen upside down, and it was on a fairly steep pitch, so there was no chance of them getting to me in time, and my friend Heffernan didn't listen to the tail gunner guy and jumped off the cliff down beside me and dug me out, and I was blue, and had he not done that, I would not be here to talk to you today. The closest we came to really having a problem with an avalanche, we were in Alaska, and we're going up it's one area they call Death Valley for that reason. And the slough came down after we'd crossed the one path, so all we got hit with was just a small amount of snow. But it was one of those ones where, 5 minutes earlier, you'd have been in a lot of trouble. So we left Buenos Aires, I think about the 15th of November. We were in Mar del Plata and spent a couple days in Mar del Plata, which is kind of the last big stopping off point before making your way to Cape Horn. We managed to get within about 10 kilometers of shore when the low pressure just started to do what it's going to do, and started drawing like heavy winds. And then within a few hours, big seas, not that big a deal. But then all of a sudden we got picked up by one of those, I didn't really think of them before as true, but rogue waves, but it's just a huge wave. You could feel the boat lift up and up, and in my forward berth, I could feel myself going like this. And I thought, okay, it's gonna drop back down. I said, no, it's not. It keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And then finally, we were so high up in the wave, the bottom of the mast hit the trough of the wave. And when that happened, the boat just went down like that. So we're starting to sink this way. And the main companionway hatch gave way because of the water pressure. So you have water pressure coming in a hole that's about like that, or seawater coming in. Felt like forever, but then finally the boat did roll, the mast snapped, and now we've got a meter of seawater. And the seawater there is about 9 degrees. I mean, you see penguins and that kind of stuff. Peter was knocked unconscious when the rollover, so I managed to get him upright, and then we started looking for our mayday opportunities because we knew we couldn't pump the boat out. The bilge pumps were gone, the batteries were gone, the engine wouldn't start with that much water, it's covered in water. And everything is literally everywhere. It just looks like, all the floorboards lift off, everything is underneath the floorboards, all the cabinets open up that can, it's just a mess of flotsam, just stuff everywhere. And at this point, we know the boat is going to go under because there was some damage done when the boat rolled over. I mean, the top was gone, the mast was gone, our life raft was torn in half. The Prefectura got the signal. They tried to find any boats or big boats that were in the area to come to see if this is, something in trouble. There was a tanker that was dispatched immediately to our location. So it rolled at about 3:20, about 9:20 at night. We get a flyover from an airplane. Wow, maybe this is going to work. Because prior to that, we just resigned ourselves to the fact it's 9 degrees C, you're not going to, even with a life jacket on you. For me, I just felt that, it was pretty unfortunate on my part in the sense of what was going to happen to my family. I wasn't too worried about myself because the water temperature was cold enough, it would take care of that. Then just as the boat goes into the water, almost like a Hollywood movie, we step up to the sea out of the boat goes under. We step into the water, we're swimming towards each other, and you can see a chopper light come down on us. They came and 2 rescue divers and dropped into the water to pull us out individually. And the range we were at that time was 300 kilometers, slightly over 300 kilometers. And the operational range of the chopper was 650. So they pushed the chopper to come and get us. Peter Powell. He was hypothermic and had a bad gash on his head, and I'd given them much medical attention as I could, but we didn't have much in the way of supplies because they're all soaked. So when we got there, we were overnighted in the Argentine hospital. And so they tended to us. For me, it was basically, they just said, you got a place to stay tonight, instead of not having a place to stay. But we had very little in the way of, we didn't have any Argentine money. We had my passport and Chilean money. But the Prefectura showed up the next day. Our 2 rescue divers and the captain that was involved brought us coffee, they brought us clothing. The hospital didn't charge us a cent. You know, it was just, and the rescue cost us nothing. It was such a big event for them as well, because oftentimes in their line of work, the outcome is not the same. So I've got a number of Facebook friends now from the Prefectura and friends from emails. I go sailing again in a heartbeat. I'm not bothered by that at all. I know exactly what to do. Chances of flipping a boat again are pretty slim. And I probably won't be in that part of the ocean again. I'll be looking a little more warmer climates. In the mountains or in the ocean or skiing or anything like that, the closer you bring yourself to challenge yourself, the better off I think you'll end up being as a person. It gives you a greater understanding of yourself, and therefore a lot easier to deal with all the issues that come up throughout your life. I don't have a death wish. I don't have anything feeling like there's a dark cloud. I'm more of a jar half full person. You know, you don't give up doing what you like doing just because you had an event.